Pat, you are the first NCAA finalist in the Coach Ayers era at Princeton. What does that mean to you to do this for that guy? And that guy, he bleeds orange, man. He's a great guy. What's it mean to you to be his first NCAA finalist?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I put my money on it, we're gonna have a second one coming up pretty soon. But I mean, it's amazing. It's kind of a culmination of all that work and all that, adversity, the sweat, tears, everything that, Coach Ayers and the rest of the coaching staff has put into this program. I mean, we have a national champs wall, and right next to it's our All-American wall. So every day when we walk into practice, we see, what the legacy's been and what the history of our program's been. And, we're blessed to have the opportunity to kind of add to that and create new thresholds and new stepping stones for this program. And I'm just glad to be a part of it.
We'll go to Kyle and then Mike, and then we'll circle back.
You were standing right here. Did you hear Nick's comments? If so, what'd you think?
I didn't hear anything, the comments. To be honest with you, I'm just worried about keeping my sweat going at this point. But I don't know, man. I'm just ready to go get that thing tomorrow. It's going to be a fight, and regardless of what he's saying, regardless of what I'm saying right now, that 7 minutes or however long it takes in that match is going to dictate who the champ is.
I'll just do a follow-up with Pat. He was mentioned that you guys both from New Jersey, I think, that type of thing. You guys, do you have any type of background with him?
Yeah. So we're both Coach Buxton guys. So I used to wrestle with Nick when he was maybe a junior in high school when I was 7th or 8th grade. He's not a fun guy to drill with. But there's a level of mutual respect for guys that come from that area and kind of grow up in that program. We know what each other's about, and it's going to be a fight. And I think that level of mutual respect is going to up the intensity and the technical aspect of the match in general.
Let's go back to the middle here.
Pat, 10 days ago you wrestled Vito in the conference finals, and the score was a little bit lopsided from the first time you wrestled. First time looked a lot like this time, a lot of going back and forth in positions. How do you, in 10 days after taking that type of defeat, prepare yourself for the event that you just did?
I feel like in a lot of ways you can't. You just got to shake that off and get ready for the next week. I mean, my coaches and I going back to that match and watching it, it wasn't really a lot what he was doing, it was just what I wasn't doing. And so in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, well, I have the opportunity to come here and kind of wash that slate clean and just get back to me, right, doing me. It had nothing to do with him, it had nothing to do with anything else in that tournament besides, where am I? What am I? What was the difference between how I was wrestling prior to that and what happened in that match? And I was just a little out of gas. I was a little kind of rusty, or whatever the situation may be. I knew that wasn't going to be the case today.
Let's go in the back right with Zeb, and we'll come back to the front.
Just to piggyback off of that, from getting your doors blown off by 13 to a huge win, right? Projecting you or propelling you into the NCAA finals. What's it say about the coaching staff?
It says everything. It says everything about our technical ability, our what we think about going into matches, our mental status, and just everything. It's a culmination of losing weight, of what we're thinking about going into the matches, what our strategy is, what we're thinking about prior to the match going in that's going to set us up for success. So props to Coach Ayers, Coach Gray, Coach Dubuque, and Coach Jackson. I wouldn't be sitting in this seat without those guys, man. It's a blessing to be a part of their program and just kind of help them and help myself, reach new goals.
Mike?
Pat, what happened in that flurry when you got that 4-point near fall? Some people thought he almost got the points there. What happened there?
Yeah, I knew I was still on top. I had my kind of a high cross position on the left side. He had my ankle hook, but that's not two. It's not a reversal, so I knew I was still on top. I just wanted to expose him, so I kind of rolled through just to try to get some kind of exposure, and then I started counting swipes. I think he thought it was for himself, so he kind of stayed there, and I looked up at the score, and I was up by 4. There was a locked hands call. I'm pretty sure I was locked in the crotch, but the coaches argued it, and it turned out to be that I was locking hands, but 6 1/2 dozen the other. Gave up a reversal, gave up a locked hands call back to back, and then wasn't able to get out in the end of the second period, and then just kind of went into that third period trying to keep scoring.
So the video challenge was about the locked hands? That was
what the challenge was, yeah, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, and I think there was maybe an argument about them going back, because the locked hands happened before the reversal. that I would still be on top, and it would only be whatever 7-3 as opposed to 7-5. The match goes against you sometimes, and it goes for you sometimes. You just got to wrestle through it.
Was that because that was it was back and forth, or was that the most critical point in that match when you got that 4-pointer? Because it almost looked like he was ready to reverse you too.
Yeah, I would say so. I kind of felt, him break a little bit. I kind of felt, moan and groan, and he was just a little, surprised, I think, by the call. And, regardless of what happened, you got to keep wrestling and just kind of, try to keep scoring points. That's it.
One thing I noticed, you got the underhook a couple times on him. Vito doesn't like being underhooked and kind of panics a little bit, looks like. Is that something you were working on coming into this match?
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we're both going to have game plans. It's the national semifinals, right? That being said, I wanted to stick to what I do best. And that's diversifying my attacks. Underhook's one thing, chopping hands away, faking, just having multiple different ways to score and being diverse in my attacks. Is going to kind of throw them off a little bit. I have a drag, I have a single leg, I have a high crotch, I have front headlock stuff, I have underhook, right? There's a million different ways I can score, and I know that. And showing those things is only going to fluster them even more. So that's what I try to do, just keep diversifying, keep showing them different stuff. And when I have to slow them down, right? I mean, just finding ways for me to be in the driver's seat.
Becker?
So back to New Jersey a little bit. You and Suriano both being from that area, coming into this championship. What does it say about New Jersey wrestling, and how would you also define New Jersey wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, if you make it out of New Jersey wrestling, youth wrestling, and make it to this level, I mean, you've got the gauntlet, and I think, all New Jersey guys kind of know the other ones, just from either growing up in the sport, going to the same clubs, going to the same national tournaments, whatever the situation may be. So there's always a mutual respect for New Jersey wrestlers. That doesn't change. I mean, you look at the history, I'm sure New Jersey's pushing PA and pushing some of these other states for, the highest amount of national finalists in the history of our sport. So, I was blessed to grow up in that area and have the, the ability to learn from some of the best wrestlers in the history of our sport. To be here and to be on the stage, it's really, it shows how much people have put into me. This status, right? I mean, it's not over yet, and I have one more to get done. But it speaks so much more to everybody around me, and the support that I have than to what I can do myself, because I couldn't do this by myself.
Anything else for Pat? One more.
Do you like the song Glory Days?
I do. I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. My dad would like that question if you asked him too, because my grandfather owned a sailboat, and it was called the Glory Days. And we just bought a new boat this past year, and we're naming it the Glory Days too. So I think it's going to be playing on the summertime on the bay and down in the Jersey Shore for sure.
And he's from Jersey, right?
He is. Bruce Springsteen's from Jersey. Yeah. So
right.
Definitely a great storyline there too.
Thank you, sir. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.